Good day, everybody! Bringing you this episode from Japan. This is Kanan from Barbell Radio. If you don't know what Barbell Radio is, I make podcasts by interviewing strength athletes, coaches, educators, and pretty much whoever I feel like. Yeah. So today, I'm going to be doing a solo episode, something different. Currently, if you don't know me, I am a 52 kilo powerlifter, and as you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, I am Japanese, speaking in a very heavy Australian accent, so I do know a thing or two about powerlifting as well as the Japanese powerlifting community. So I was thinking how I am able to help the listeners in any way, and if there is something particular that I can share that might be useful. Maybe I thought there are not many Japanese lifters that are able to speak English and are able to share information in English about the Japanese powerlifting community, so I thought maybe I should do a video on the athletes, Japanese athletes that you should be following on social media. So, let's go! Barbell Radio. I have to mention that I'm not getting any financial benefits from mentioning these people. It's not one of those paid ads where I get paid to do shout outs and things like that. It's 100% my personal opinion. And if you disagree, or if there is someone that deserves to be shared that weren't shared in this video, then make sure you comment or, I don't know, message me. Just let me know. Yeah. And I actually don't even know if anyone will actually be listening to this. I'm aware that I don't have many English-speaking listeners, and my English episodes don't perform nearly as well as my Japanese episodes. But I guess we'll see. You know, you got to try it to find out. So here I am. And also, this episode would also be on YouTube if you're listening to this on a podcast version, and you can see my face here. Hello. And vice versa. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can definitely listen to it on podcast as well. I share this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, and a lot of different applications. I really prefer listening to it on that podcast because I really have to put as much effort as I have to watching a video. You know, I could be doing something. I could be walking around. I could be on the train and going to work, or I could be driving, or I could be doing cardio, which I don't very do as a powerlifter, but and then I could just put my headphones on, earphones in, whichever, and then, you know, just kill two birds with one stone, complete one task, as well as getting new information by audio. So yeah, podcast is definitely something I enjoy, which is why I'm doing it in the first place. And also, you don't have to waste a lot of data downloading a video. So, that's another plus. So, I want to get into the video, or the actual content of this video. So, powerlifters, Japanese powerlifters you should follow. I based this list on 3 things. So, the first one is athletes that are active on social media. You know, I prioritize people that are active because, you know, there might be more famous or more stronger lifters that I'm not going to be mentioning today, but if you go to their profile and then they have 10 photos, and some accounts may be private, that's not going to become very useful to the listeners that are listening today. So I prioritize people that are constantly uploading on social media. Yeah. Let me just have a sip of my coffee. By the way, guys, it's 10:30 in the morning in Japan, and I have to get this episode up in a few hours because I'm going to go watch a friend's boxing match today in Yokohama, and gotta go train before that, so lots to do. But, you know, I haven't done one of these in a while, so thought I will see how it goes. If I fail, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. But anyways, okay, the second point. I've also prioritized English-speaking athletes or visually easy to understand content. So I'm not going to be mentioning people that, you will go to their posts and then you will have no idea what they're saying. So I prioritize English speakers or even posts, if people do posts that are captioned in English. And then number 3, it's just my preference of people I'd like to follow are people that share somewhat of educational and informative content. I like people that are always even commenting on how they felt about the lift or sharing some sort of knowledge that I don't know about. So, because I'm a selfish I want to get some sort of new information out of these, athletes. And those are usually the people I enjoy following. So, yeah, I'm going to be prioritizing that as well. And as I said before, if I missed anybody, make sure you let me know. Okay, so let's start with bench press athletes. So if you powerlift, you probably would know that Japan has many legendary bench press athletes. And it wouldn't be fair for me to not start with Yusuke Suzuki, who is a 83 kilo weight class bench press athlete, and he's also a gym owner of a gym in Nagano Prefecture. It's called Body Art Design, BAD for short. And he is one of the most respected powerlifters in Japan. Wow, my throat. I swear I don't have corona. I don't know. And he's also 2018 and 2019 World Classic Bench Press champion in the 83 kilo class. So a very, very strong athlete. And, as I mentioned, he's a respected athlete, not only because he's strong, but he shares informative content. So if you look at his Instagram, you could see that he does tons of variations of the bench press. And he uses a lot of different equipment, starting from, hardcore, old-fashioned equipment, all the way to, trending new releases. Yeah, so that might be something that you might be interested and you might be able to take into your training. Or you might just look for, entertainment purposes. God! Yeah. So, you can follow him for aesthetic reasons, or if you want to learn something about strength training or the bench press, definitely someone that you should follow. Yep, and another reason why you should be following Yusuke is because he does all of his captions in English. So every training day and every, training log of what he did during the day, he writes it in English. Yeah, so it's very, very easy to understand. And also, he is also bilingual, I guess. So, he does live videos every Tuesday night, Japan time. And I see a lot of, people who are on the live, asking him questions. And I've seen, people that are... I've seen non-Japanese speakers go onto his live and ask him questions in English, and he actually answers them in English. So, if you have any questions, I definitely recommend you going on that live and then asking him questions, because he is a very, very knowledgeable guy, also very, very strong, also very humble, and, all around a really nice athlete. Yeah, so his Instagram is Body Art Design, so BODYARTDESIGN on Instagram. I believe he's not on Twitter. I actually also interviewed him on episode 22 of Barbell Radio. So if you are able to speak Japanese, then I definitely recommend you going out there and then going there and then checking it out. Yeah. So the second person that I'm going to be mentioning is Keita Saito from Hokkaido, which is like the North Island of Japan. And he is a 66 kilo athlete, recently just moved to 74 kilo. And he is also a bench presser. He's also a gym owner of a gym called Burst Limit. How cool are these names, right? Like, a lot of Japanese names, I've realized, use very dramatic names. So there are gyms that are called TXP, that stands for Team Extreme Power. And also another gym called No Limits. Oh, not limits, there is no limits. Push your boundaries. And then this one is called Burst Limit. So it's just like, yeah, just very, I feel like that's a very Japanese thing, you know? Using very dramatic, like, over-the-top names. I feel like if you have something like that in the States, it'll be like, oh. I mean, it's cool and everything, but I don't know. I feel like American gyms have more of a casual name. Obviously, not in Japan. So yeah, Burst Limits. Burst Limit. Burst Limits? Burst Limit? Yeah, is the gym name. And also, Keita is also a 2016-2017 World Classic Bench Press Champion. So, and I believe he presses something like when he won this, I think he pressed like 172.5 or 175. Yeah, so very, very strong athlete. I think recently as a 74 kilo class bench press athlete, he pressed 200 kilos. So, lots of progress there as well in the last few years. And what I like about his social media, he is mainly active on Instagram and YouTube, but he posts a lot of video content about the bench press. It's crazy how much content you can make out of a single movement, you know, the bench press. So it's just laying down and then pressing the barbell, but he takes it in so much more depth, and he talks about a lot of things. He talks about equipment, he talks about programming, he talks about just the basic principles, he talks about mindset, I believe, as well. And definitely, I mean, he doesn't do his videos in English, but it's very easy to follow because his editing is really good as well, and his visuals is, you know, he explains things visually. So even if you don't speak Japanese, definitely easy to follow. Yeah. And yeah, his Instagram is Keita, Keita. Here we go, you have to write this on a note. 579219. Like all these Japanese usernames. It's just so hard to, like, remember. I don't know if you can change usernames on Instagram. I think you can, but I don't know why he does this. Like, it's crazy I will never remember that. Yeah. And also YouTube as well. You can type Burst Limit and it should be up there as well. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Very educational and informative. Yeah, definitely go check it out there as well. And also, another person I'd like to mention is a Japanese bench press athlete in Australia. Yeah. The land of the down under. His name is Yuki Kashima. And he is a 66 kilo powerlifting athlete, but I really think that you should go check out his bench press, because very technical, and he has the typical Japanese style of bench press, you know, the very wide grip, super high arch, small range of motion. And it's something that, if that's something that you want to improve on, then why not go check it out there as well. I actually interview him on Barbell Radio, and he speaks about him graduating high school in Japan and then moving to Australia for university. And something that I really do respect about him is his lifetime line, and his mindset is something that I really do admire. He's obviously, when he went to Australia, he spoke almost no English, but he just literally went to a powerlifting gym and then just talked to people, even though he didn't understand English, and went out there, and then now he's like representing Australia in powerlifting. I think he competed at Commonwealth Games a few years back as well. So he's all about who gives a shit about what other people think. You know, I'm gonna go out there. I don't want to be that. I want to be the anomaly kind of mindset athlete, and that's something that I admire. So yeah, and what I really like about his lifting videos is when he does like a heavy lift and he successfully completes the lift, he racks it if it's a squat, and then he goes like, he does this crazy like jump in the air and then makes like a crazy shape with his body. And it literally looks like a fish like jumping out of the water and then, you know, just arching his back and like, yeah, and it goes really full on crazy, like, yeah, yeah. Then you can see like a lot of his mates at the gym smiling, and it's really, really fun to watch. Yeah. So, and also he's a very nice guy. I think if you message him about bench press or anything, I think he will reply. I mean, definitely worth a shot. And he also does online coaching as well. So he's definitely worth following if you're looking for that typical Japanese bench press technique. Yeah. So his Instagram handle, Yuki, YUKI _66kg. And I believe he has YouTube as well. You can search Yuki Powerlifting. Yep. He makes videos in Japanese and English. I believe he hasn't uploaded in a while, but who cares? Yeah, there are a lot of videos still on there. So, another Japanese lifter, she also has the typical Japanese bench press technique. Her name is Keiko Mayeda, and she is a Japanese girl who is living in Austria, I believe. And she's trilingual, so Japanese, English, German, I think, if you're in Austria. Yeah, German? Yeah. So, she's trilingual, and her range of motion is like 2 centimeters in the bench press. And if that's something that arching and bench press technique is something that you want to improve on, then definitely go check out Keiko as well. She's such a sweet, cute, outgoing girl, and she has some like really aesthetic photos on her Instagram as well. So check out Keiko, KEIKOMAYEDA. Lots of fun. And I think she uploads a lot of like her diet and things like that as well. Yeah. Now shall we move on to powerlifters, raw powerlifters. Okay. So the first athlete is a male heavyweight athlete. His name is Tomotake, and he goes by the name of Tomo. I actually interview him on Barbell Radio as well. One of the most best performing podcasts. Actually, the best performing podcast, actually. And oh yeah, so I interviewed him on the 11th episode of Barbell Radio, and he is a 120 kilo plus athlete, so super heavyweight athlete. And what I really like about him is he's very he has a lot of knowledge from many different perspective of fields of powerlifting. So I think even like the political side of powerlifting, he knows a lot about it. He knows the scientific, he knows the practical side to, you know, general strength training, and he knows a lot about the powerlifting community. He just knows a lot of shit, and he shares it a lot on Twitter as well as Instagram as well. And he's very honest and open about his opinion, which is not very common as a Japanese person or even a Japanese athlete more so. A lot of athletes pretty much shy away from speaking their direct opinion if it even sounds even a little bit offensive. But he's not like that. He's very honest, and he's all about helping other people or sharing true information, which is something that I really admire, and I really like following him for that purpose. He also gives a lot of advice to me about Barbell Radio, and he's also a basketball fan. So if that's something that you're into, which I don't know too much about basketball, but he's always sharing things about basketball and other different sports. So if it's something that you're into, then it might be interesting to follow him as well. He's also bilingual, so Japanese, English. He does a lot of posts that are captioned in English. Some stories are also in English, and it's really good insight into the Japanese powerlifting community because he is one of the most respected athletes as well, and a lot of people go to him for information, opinion, and yeah, he's also a very strong squatter. So I think he had the national record for the squat, 305.5 kilos, I believe. And yeah, very strong athlete. His Instagram is mostly on the squat. I'm sure if you message him, he will reply, I think. Yeah. So make sure you follow him on Instagram. It's Tomos Squat Log, TOMOS Squat, SQATLOG, all in one word. Yeah. It's I've realized over the time though that I really do want to share the Twitter side of the Twitter of some of these athletes, but I think they do most of their tweets in Japanese, and just the tweets on Twitter in the powerlifting community, not even in the powerlifting community, like Twitter in Japan is actually very scary. Like you would see athletes or people in person and they'll be all, you know, nice and happy and friendly, but then you go on Twitter and then it's like people are bashing the shit out of each other. And I don't even like going on Twitter as Barbell Radio. It scares the shit out of me, you know. And maybe it's like that with all countries, but especially Japan, like the gap of how people act in person and how people are on Twitter is just ridiculously scary. So yeah, Twitter is definitely not something that I'm strong in, and for that reason, actually, Yusuke, who I mentioned at the start, doesn't go on Twitter because he doesn't want a lot of drama. This is probably the right decision. So the next one I want to mention is Yoshihiro Higa. And you probably know him if you have been following World Classic Powerlifting Championship Games. He placed third under the 74 kilo class at the 2018 Worlds. And he is known for his ridiculously strong squat. I believe, like, even in practice, as a 74 kilo athlete, he is squatting over 300 kilos. So it's not very common in Japan. Maybe he's like the only person who squats over 300 in Japan, but for a 74 anyways. And he uploads almost daily him squatting or him training. I don't really see a lot of his bench press, to be honest, but his training videos on Instagram where he's at his home gym, and then the camera is set up like really below, and then he's just literally squatting, and he's writing his captions in English as well, so easy to follow. And he has that wide stance super low bar squat. Yeah, so very interesting technique. And I'm sure he will be setting a very good numbers, and he has a lot of potential as a athlete as a Japanese athlete. So I think it's definitely worth following. So the next person, he is a weightlifter, but he actually competed at a powerlifting meet, so I have to mention he is the well-known, very famous Toshiki Yamamoto. And he is a Japanese representative for weightlifting, but he competed at powerlifting several years ago. He's also a national squat record holder in the 93 kilo class, and I think his squat was 285 kilos. And to this day, he still has the powerlifting squat record. So, and you know, just weightlifters, very entertaining to watch. If you're interested in weightlifting too, yeah, definitely someone worth following. His Instagram is Toshiki, TOSHIKIS. Here we go, the crazy numbers again. 170J2 215. Yeah, so another one there. Shall we move on? So this one is a junior lifter, and I can't do an episode without giving a shout out to my coach, Jackson Miller. He sounds like a American name, and it is. He is half American and half Japanese. He spent most of his life in South America and Japan, so he's very obviously fluent in Japanese, and I feel like sometimes he's more Japanese than me, and he is a 83 kilo junior power lifter. So he's also known for his very strong deadlift, and he uses a lot of information that are coming out from the United States and then taking that into his training, also introducing that kind of style of training into the Japanese powerlifting community. He's also obviously bilingual, so he does a lot of his posts in English. His stories are sometimes in English as well, and yeah, his video is also very aesthetic looking because he trains at one of the most famous gyms in Japan, Everlift. Yeah, so Everlift, which is one of the most famous gyms in Japan, especially for powerlifting. And also give a shout out to the actual owner of Everlift. His name is Sho Imakoga, and known as Sho Fitness, and he is also he's the owner of Everlift and also a powerlifting athlete under the 93 kilo weight class, and he actually crowdfunded this gym, so got a lot of his supporters that he got as on YouTube, because he started off on YouTube, and they all raised money to build this gym in Fukuoka, and you have to go check out the gym as well. It's called Everlift in one word. I think if you go on Instagram, it's Everlift Gym. Not sure, but worth checking out. Because if you visit Japan, and if you're a powerlifter, and if you're around the Fukuoka area, then that's a gym that you definitely have to check out. Yeah, but Sho is also he's pretty much like Jeff Nippard of Japan, you know. He's not the strongest athlete, but he's a national level powerlifter. He also used to compete in physique competitions, and he introduces like a lot of scientific literature to back up what he's saying in his YouTube videos, and that's not something that you see in Japan a lot. So yeah, and he does videos on, you know, physique, bodybuilding, hypertrophy training to strength training, sharing equipment, sharing techniques, sharing forms, and very easy to follow because obviously it's on YouTube. So even if you don't speak Japanese, you know, it's visually appealing, so maybe it's easy to follow. I don't know, let me know. Yeah, his YouTube, just search Sho Space Fitness, and on Instagram he goes by Sho _Imakoga IMAKOGA. Definitely worth checking out his content. Yeah, so next lifter, going back to the junior lifter, she is like it's a female powerlifter. She's 20 years old. She's like the Amanda Lawrence and Daniela Mello of Japan. Her name is Nomura. So, yeah, very known for the strong deadlift. I believe she's 83 kilo plus lifter, and she deadlifts 210 as a junior. And she was recently like just coming out of sub juniors, so very young lifter. You know, I think a lot of like male lifters follow her. Everybody loves this girl, and I think she has a lot of potential in the future as well. I don't think she speaks English, but I mean, it's definitely still worth it. Check her out. Her Instagram is Nomu NOMU _powerlifter. Yeah, should be there as well, and she's gonna be I think she's gonna be winning a lot of national championships for many years. So And she's also competed in Worlds as well as a sub-junior. And junior last year, actually, too. Shall we move on to equipped lifters? Now, I don't know much about equipped lifting, but I'm just going to mention some of the people that I do know and that I think is worth sharing. The first one is a junior lifter. His name is Yusuke Satake. I also interview him as well on one of my first episodes, like earlier episodes, should I say. And he is a 66 kilo equipped power lifter. And he trains at this gym called TXP, which I mentioned earlier, Team Extreme Power. Ridiculously strong. I believe he has a lot of world titles as well, under juniors and opens as well. And not only is he a equipped lifter, he also does raw lifting as well, and he's also very successful in raw lifting in Japan as a 66 kilo lifter. Maybe he won a national title as a 59 kilo lifter as well. He's also dating an athlete in the 52 kilo class, and she also does equipped lifting. And in Japan, you don't really see many couples that are like into equipped lifting and also very, very successful competing on world platforms. And yeah, very sweet couple and young as well. I believe Yusuke is my age. So yeah. I don't know. I think I would follow him for like performance purposes, not so much like educational, but like, oh, he's so strong kind of thing. Yeah. Sometimes I can't even believe I'm a podcaster. I'm so bad at explaining things. I'm improving, and I'm doing these videos, so that's all that matters. So the next two are female equipped lifters, and both of them are very young. Both of them are lightweight athletes. Lightweight? Sounds like, oh, you're such a lightweight. You can't drink that much, kind of lightweight. But no, like, this girl is Kotomi Hayakawa, and she competes almost every year on world platform as a 47 kilo athlete. Very, very strong and successful both in equipped and raw lifting. I believe raw lifting, she actually won 2018 title for raw. So she's successful both in equipped and raw lifting, and she is active on social media as almost like a sponsored athlete for this company called Explosion. And Explosion makes it's a supplement company and is very famous for its huge, like 3 kilo bags of protein under like $50 US. And she appears on their Instagram as like she shares training videos, and then you swipe, and then you could, by the end of the slide, you could see like she's like holding a Explosion protein bag and then posing with it. So it's definitely like a very, very interesting business concept for Explosion. A very good like marketing strategy, because you know a lot of people want to follow strong female lifters in Japan, and she's also very pretty, you know. Like, she looks like an idol, almost. And if you walk around in the street and if you saw her, then you wouldn't even think that she does powerlifting. So, yeah, it's really interesting business idea as well, I think, for social media. Yeah. She also does have a personal account sharing her training videos, but she's not nearly as active as she is on this Explosion protein Instagram page. Yeah, very strong lifter. Very strong deadlifter too. So, if you want to see like an idol-looking girl throwing very heavy weights, then yeah, go follow her. I used to train with her as well. Very sweet girl. And the Instagram handle for Explosion is at @x_plosion, PLOSION_protein. Now moving on, she's also one of my friends. So her name is Tomoko Tanabe, and she's an equipped lifter under the 52 kilo weight class. I used to train with her at this gym in Yokohama. And she's one of those, again, one of those like kawaii Japanese girls. Not so kawaii on Twitter. She is not afraid to speak her mind on Twitter. And so a lot of people actually admire her for that. She's small, like little figure, but she's strong as hell. And really, really friendly, outgoing, cheerful kind of girl. She competes equipped as well as raw sometimes as well. So follow her as well if you want to see Japanese powerlifting girls at Mokosuke, Mokosuke 2525 is her Instagram handle. This next one, the last athlete that I'm going to be mentioning is a heavyweight male lifter. His name is Yusuke Takeda. It's the third person who I'm going to be introducing with the same first name, Yusuke. And he is a 93 kilo lifter. He's one of the veterans in the sport. He is 11 times a powerlifting champion and competed many times at world classics as well. I actually don't know if it's many times, sorry. But I believe his squat is like 320, bench press 220, deadlift 305 with the total of 830 kilos. And he's also a head coach for the gym that I mentioned earlier, TXP, which is one of the most famous powerlifting gyms in Tokyo. And he shows he usually uploads like training videos, but in the back you can see what's going on in that gym as well. And I've also went to their gym before, I think last year, and I've trained. He also was very, very friendly and nice, and helped me a lot with, obviously I'm just a visitor in this gym, so he was really nice to me and introduced a lot of different athletes and how I could use the gym, and very nice person, very respected as well. I don't know if he speaks English, but he writes a lot of his posts, he captions a lot of these posts in English as well. So on Instagram he is Yusuke, Yusuke Takeda, Takeda.txp is his Instagram handle. So you can also follow me on I'm active on Instagram as at Kanan PL KANAN.PL. So yeah, I think that's about it. I'm sure I missed lifters, but if there is someone like specific that really deserves to be mentioned, then please comment or let me know. Yeah. So I guess that's it for Japanese lifters that you should follow, in my opinion. All of these people, I'm sure if you message them, then they will reply. I don't know if they'll reply if it's in English, but it's definitely worth a shot, and it's definitely worth like checking out a lot of their content as well. And yeah. Like, obviously, Japanese powerlifting is nearly not as big as the US powerlifting scene, but it's getting there, and there are things I'm sure that you can take away from these Japanese lifters that you can't take away from American or wherever you are lifters. So, yeah, go check them out. I don't know how to end this video. Yeah, just gonna end it. So, follow me on Instagram, also Barbell Radio. I'm active on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You could just type Barbell Radio and it should be on there as well. God, I spoke for like 40 minutes. I hope that wasn't too bad. Yeah, okay, so stay safe, stay healthy, and I guess see you some other time. Barbell Radio.